What I'm going to be showing you here today is the easiest way, in my opinion, to find all the factors of a number, meaning all the numbers that multiply together to give you that number. So first we're going to start with 42. So I want all the numbers that are going to multiply in pairs to get you 42. Now, instead of just guessing and thinking of them in no particular order, I like to start by putting my numbers down the side in order. Now we're not going to use all of these, but I'm just showing you this for this process. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 42 divided by 1, which is 42. 1 in the number is always my first pair of factors. Now, for what we're doing later, that's not really important, but it is a good skill to have later on in the year. So next, I'm going to do 42 divided by 2, which is going to give me 21. Then I'm going to do 42 divided by 3, which is 14. Had to grab my calculator for that. It was a little math brain wasn't working at the moment. 42 divided by 4, if I do that in the calculator, I get 10.5. Since we're only working with whole numbers right now, we're not going to list 4. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that out. 42 divided by 5 is also not a whole number. And then 42, if I continue this list, by 6 is 7. Now, what happens if I continue this to 7? 42 divided by 7 is 6. So this pair right here, 6 times 7 and 7 times 6, has repeated itself. And that's how I know that I have all of my factors. Another way I can know that I have all of my factors, I'll show you with 36. So I'm going to go ahead again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 36 divided by 1 is 36, so I've always got 1 in the number. 36 divided by 2 is 18. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 36 divided by 4 is 9. 36 divided by 5 doesn't come out as a whole number, so I'm going to leave that one out. And then 36 divided by 6 is 6. 36 is what's called a perfect square. So if we kept moving, we'd get to 9 and 4 eventually. So if our numbers are the same, then I know I have all of my factors. Let's go ahead and look at 21. Instead of listing my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm just going to do 1, start with 21. 21 divided by 2 is not a whole number, so I'm not going to list it. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 21 divided by 4 doesn't give me a whole number. 21 divided by 5, 6, no whole numbers, and then we get to 7 and 3. And I know that this pair repeated itself, so I don't need to list it twice, and I have all of my factors of 21. And that is the way that I think is the easiest way to organize your factors and make sure that you have listed all of them. All right, so now that we know how to find the factors, I have listed 42, 36, and 21. We're going to use our factors there to find what's called the greatest common factor. And the greatest common factor is the biggest number that goes evenly into both, or in this case, all three numbers. In other words, you can divide those numbers by the greatest common factor, and it's the biggest number you can divide them by and still get a whole number. So let's take a look first at 42 and 36. If I look at all my factors of 42 and 36, what you might notice about the way we've set this up is the bigger numbers are all over here. And since we're looking for bigger numbers, we're looking for the greatest common factor, the biggest number, then we want to check out over here. None of these numbers, 36, 18, 12, 9, show up anywhere for the factors of 42. But when you get to 6, we do see 6 come up over here. So the greatest common factor of 42 and 36 is 6. So our greatest common factor, or GCF, is 6. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that to avoid confusion. very slowly apparently. So then let's go ahead and look at 36 and 21. So I only have 4 factors of 21. 21 and 7 don't show up on the factors of 36. Next biggest is 3. And 3 shows up on both lists. So even though it's not a very big number, 3 is our greatest common factor. Then if we look at, all of our numbers together, we can note that 3 also shows up on 42's list. So the greatest common factor for all 3 of these numbers would be 3. So that is how you list your factors and find the biggest ones. If you get really good at your multiplication tables, people can start to do these in their heads. It just depends on the person. Some people need to write them down. So whatever way you get there in the end, I hope this video helps.